What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is the fishing spot. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, right off the bat, there are a few things I need to explain. When I made my way to Winnipeg for the first time, not knowing where to go fish, I obviously used something like Google Maps to start looking around for fishing spots. Now, one particular spot caught my eye. It was something that was just labeled the fishing spot. Now, I wish I grabbed a screenshot of that because it's been removed from Google Maps, but I do remember that exact location where that little spot was. So is this a pretty good fishing spot? That I don't know. It was just something that someone labeled on Google as the fishing spot. Now, we're of course on the Red River. To explain kind of where I am, right across the river on the bank on the opposite side, that is Kings Park. We also do have a boat launch on this side. Down in the video description link, in all of my videos, I do put a Google Maps pin for where I am. So if you want to know where this exact spot is, you can always have a look down there. Alright, but we are here to find out if there's any fish in the area, so let's get to fishing. Alright, so today I'm going to start off with some baits. Going to soak that out in the water, see if we can find some fish to find our baits. For that reason, using 2 hooks. Top one, I have a little strawberry flavored catfish bait with some night crawlers, and the bottom hook has some night crawlers. I'm just going to send that out there and wait for some fish to find it. Now, normally in the Red River, I'll try to go in the middle of the river, but we are on a bend in the river, so I'm thinking maybe the deeper water isn't in the middle. It might be closer to where I am. That I do not know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast out, try going for the middle of the river. I can always move closer. I'm going to start out far, moving closer, see if we can find any fish. Alright, so we got our baits out there soaking. Now we do is wait for something to show up. Now at the moment, it's all bluebird skies, but it is supposed to get a little bit stormy later today. I think we have a storm rolling in, so little pre-front conditions for fishing. Let's see if that turns the fish on. I also do have a little bell on my rod there. We also have lots of ice still moving around and lots of debris. I just have a little bell so we know when it's actually a fish or whether my line is just being snagged and dragged down. That's a little piece of ice hitting our line, giving that tug. But I thought I might give you guys a little bit of an update. We had one instance where the bell was ringing 1 or 2 times, then nothing. Since that happened, there is a little bit of a pull on the rod every once in a while, but not enough to actually set off the little bell. Now, this is rather strange to me, because even something like a tiny little bluegill is enough to ring the bell, so I don't think we have fish on there. Or maybe it's something that grabbed it and is sitting still in one place. That might be the case. I do not know. But I'm not going to bring in the baits yet, especially because we have it out there and it's drawing in fish with all the smell. If we now move it, we might move it away from some fish. So I'd rather leave the little baits out there for a while before checking on them, seeing whether that tiny little pull we're getting is actually a fish or it's just something messing with the baits. Another little observation I want to be making: we have the bend in the river, and the water, as it comes around this bend, goes out that way. But right here in front of me, we do have a little eddy or something. We have 2 different directions that the ice and scum is moving. Main river is moving that way, and then we have a little current moving this way. Now I'm thinking that this will be a great place for fish to be sitting You don't want to be in the main current all the time, having to fight everything. So maybe being here in a little bit shallower water, not moving that fast. So when we do rebait, I'm going to try and get a bit closer to this little eddy thing. Now, another little thing that I would like to mention, this particular section of the Red River part here in front of us is actually going from west to east, but the actual Red River flows from south to north. This is just something I would like to mention because it's very hard to sometimes understand the lay of the land and the river, but the Red River runs from the south to the north. Now, there is a section of the Red River in America that goes south, but the Red River here in Canada moves north to Hudson Bay. Alright, so we're using the night crawlers out there, and of course anything from a little shiner all the way to sturgeon will go for night crawler. That is the only reason why I'm worried about the baits down there, having had that one big hit and getting small hits and then nothing for almost an hour now. Thinking maybe it was just some small fish stealing our baits. I mean, the last call that I caught also didn't set off the alarm bells. So I think for that reason, I want to bring in, check our baits. Also, we do have quite a lot of debris coming down, so maybe not a bad idea to get that out of the way, check the baits, rebait, get it back out there. And the interesting thing to note, on one of our hooks, our little night crawlers are missing. Second hook still has on some. So just going to rebait, get it back out there. Alright, ladies and gents, I had such big high hopes for the fishing spot that I even brought a measuring stick out here with me. But after 6 hours of soaking some baits out there, we haven't got anything. Now, when using an app like FishBrain, looking at this particular spot, you'll see that people have caught some channel catfish and some drum from this particular area. And I mean, it is the Red River. We know there are fish out there. And in some way, takes a day like this, you put it into perspective how much of a difference it makes catching little 10-inch channel catfish or red horse versus not catching anything at all. Now, I think if you get out here in the summer months when the fish are cruising up and down looking for food, well, I think that will be a good time. But right now, when the waters are still cold, I personally think there are not a lot of fish in this area. We know that a lot of different fish species go for night crawlers, but not even getting some hits out there. That just tells me that there are big sections of the river that are kind of empty, and I think the reason for that is the fish move to certain spots, some deep holes, some moving water. They're not necessarily going to be everywhere in the river. There are certain spots where they like to go. Now, of course, I'm hoping that as it gets a bit hotter and things start to turn green, that the fishing will pick up again and you can find fish anywhere. But for the time being, it's a good learning curve, trying to think about these things, trying to think about where to find the fish. And that is why I just wanted to share this thought with you guys. But I want to thank you for following along. Please feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button, joining my community. And as far as the fishing spot, well, maybe there's a reason Google removed it from Google Maps. Maybe the spot has moved. But like I said, I'm pretty sure the right time would be a great spot to fish. Alright guys, that's going to bring an end to this video. Thank you for watching. Like always, see you next time. Alright, so now that I'm leaving, we have two other groups of fishermen showing up. So maybe this is the fishing spot.